Hello, everybody. Happiest of Thursdays to you all. Hope that everybody is doing well. If you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for being here. And I don't know what else to tell you. Click the subscribe, like the video if you haven't. Do all the things that you normally do. Bell notification. Stuff that makes the YouTube algorithm happy somehow. I'm not smart enough to understand how that thing works. But I've been informed by people who are smarter than I am that it's important to say those things. So that's where we are. I'm just now realizing, too, I didn't have my little bitty, teeny tiny overlay up on screen. I was wondering why something looked a little bit off. But anyway, so good to have you guys here with me tonight. I have kind of a more chill stream kicking off Bourbon Heritage Month, but I'm very excited about it. And we're also going to be talking about the new Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C922, hot off the presses. I think this might be another TIMBP exclusive first review. So I can't wait to get into this tonight. Wanted to talk about too what like the past year has been, as what it's been like as far as bourbon goes, because I think that's something that we haven't really discussed very much, and I want to kind of get a feel for how everybody's feeling about the bourbon industry, the bourbon world, the community, all of that stuff. So we'll get to that in just a bit. Pour one up if you haven't already. I went with some Wild Turkey Rare Breed to kick things off tonight. That's the kind of day, kind of night, kind of week I feel like I've been having right now. So not that it's been bad. I've not really had a bad week. It's just been kind of long. Monday seems like it was about 18 years ago. So it's one of those weeks where like I barely even remember what happened on Monday. So we'll get there. I want to say hey to everybody in the chat. Tony, bag of donuts. Tony, hope you are doing well and feeling okay, my friend. Let's get this party started. Just got back from Benny's with a nice little haul. +2, it's Bourbon Night picks arrived yesterday. Nice, Tony. Darren, Mr. D's Bourbons, is here as well. Hi, Darren. Good to see you. Glad you stopped in for a few minutes before while you were working. Don Nishida's here. Says, uh-oh. D's Bourbons is on. I'm not winning any giveaways if there is one today. LOL. No giveaway tonight, unless you guys are just dying for a sample of the new Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, which we'll talk about later. Again, Whiskey Elon, let's get this show to the moon. Let's do it indeed. Dramhound, one of our newest patrons on patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. If you're not supporting the show over there, now is the chance to do that. Dramhounds, thank you. Dramhound, excuse me. I started slurring my words. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting the show. Jeffrey Wack, hello again, Whiskey friends. Hello, Jeff. It's so good to see you. Nick Foles says #Stan Lee. Well, I say #Stan We. We because he's here, and Stan because it's Stan Lee. So, Stan's not even in the shot. There we go. I'll have Stan just a little bit off to the side. Mike Stitch. Hello, Mike Stitch. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Very good to have you along for a live stream. Very, very cool to have you here. Donnie the Linux Cat, our moderator for the evening, says, mash that like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Don't forget to choose all so you get notifications and you don't miss out. Yes. Yes. Kicking off Thursday night with a little Elmer T. Lee. No big deal. No big deal indeed. Look at you, Tony. Jeff Wax, Cigar Whiskey, Fantasy Football Draft, and Perry. What a nice night on the back porch. It is so nice out right now in the Ohio River region, I suppose. Bourbon Noob, Mr. Patrick. Hello, Pat. I got promoted today in Vegas tomorrow. Great way to start a month of drinking. Amen to that. Whiskey Nose. Hello, Marty. Hey, everyone. Hey to you. Zopher. What up, what up? What up with you, Zoph? Justin Lewis. Hey, y'all. Been a while since I could join. Good to see you, Justin. Really hope you've been doing well and hanging in there. Roscoe P. Coltrane. Hello, Roscoe. Cheers, everybody. Rare Breed sounds good. Rare Breed is good. Dustin's here. Hello, Dustin. What a hot minute it's been since you've been in here as well. Teresa Martinez. Cheers. Cheers to you, Teresa. Thank you so much for being here. Nick Foles says, Stan's the man. Stan is indeed the man. He is on full display right now. He'll be hopping around the screen, I'm sure, before too long. Tony B, another one of our newest Patreon supporters. Tony, thank you so much for being here. He says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Tony. It is so good to see you in the chat. Donnie has brought up tipping. We're going to talk about tipping here in just a moment. Hanging with Bill. Hello, Bill. Longtime viewer, first-time commenter. Excuse me. We all know that's not true. But everybody go subscribe to Bill as well. And Whiskey Nose, Marty, and Jeff Whack, the Whack Attack, and Bourbon Noob. And go subscribe to everybody in the chat. Oh, we got 2 Tony B's. I didn't even think about that, Tony Bag of Donuts. That's pretty funny. What was the question? Did the proof get above 130 for the C922? No, sir, it did not. It is 124.8 proof. So we will talk about... oh, no, Stan. We will talk about that in a bit. Dramhound says, everybody who is not a patron of TIMBP, go sign up. Worth every cent. Thank you, Dramhound. Yes, please go sign up on the Patreon. We got a bunch of great stuff over there, bonus content, and early access to picks when they come about, if they are around. Cheers all. Hello, Peter White. Good to see you. Embellish Podcast is here. John Hughes, hello. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. He says, yeah, subscribe, because I'm at 68, but only one of you. So go be John's 69th subscriber. So if you want to support the show through the way that you would normally do it, which is super chats, we actually don't have that at the moment on the channel, but we do have Snuffy Chats, which is through the Stream Elements link, which Donnie posted in the chat just a little bit earlier. You can find that. You can see it at the bottom of the screen right now. You can also find the pinned comment on YouTube, which goes directly to the Stream Elements link. That is a great way to support the show throughout the stream. If you do Stream Elements, you can get your message right up here on screen. You can also do it directly through PayPal, Venmo, the Cash App, whatever is the best way for you to do so. But all of those things amount to me just saying thank you so much for being here and supporting the show. I'm just very, very happy. I'm just happy to be here tonight. And it's been a long week. It's been a weird week as well. I've got a lot. I'm dealing with a lot of like personal anxiety right now, and I won't go too much into it on the stream, or maybe it'll be a Patreon podcast or something. But just a lot of stuff going on. Not necessarily a bad stuff. I think that gets misconstrued sometimes. That we say we got a lot of anxiety, and it's not always about bad things. Sometimes the anxiety is over positive changes or things that you're seeing and realizing are for the best, and you're just like your brain's not really sure how to process it because of the way that you've been. I think this is kind of where I'm pulling all of this from experience, because this is kind of where I am right now. But it's your brain saying this is for the best, and you're kind of rolling with the punches a little bit. And I heard this analogy the other night, and I hadn't heard it before. Before we get there is a new Snuffy Chat. Also, Snuffy Chats are in support of Mr. Snuffleupagus back here, the patron saint of the live streams, TIMBP Live. It's from Don's Orphan. Said Don's Orphan Bottles, excuse me. A $10 donation. Thank you so much. Don Nishida, here's the good stuff. $20 donation. Thank you, Don Nishida. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, John. Well, Don's Orphan Bottles. But he do be throwing them links from his fingertips. But yeah, I guess that's something. Like, we could even talk about it a little bit as far as like what the past year has brought about for me personally, not just within the bourbon world, because I do think that's we're riding that kind of that line between the two, because I mean, despite the fact that you do come here for the bourbon content, I imagine that some of you guys come to TIMBP for because you at least like me based on what you see and hear on streams and podcasts. But I like to say that I'm a very what you see is what you get kind of person. Like, I'm not here like trying to put on a face or act like I'm one way or another here on streams or on podcasts. So when I like talk about personal life and I talk about things like that, it's because I'm pretty open about it, and I have a lot of things a lot of moving parts, I suppose. But it being your truest self, I think, is one of the most important things that you can do. So, great way to kick off Bourbon Heritage Month, I suppose. But let me know in the chat as well what you're drinking currently. I think I said it earlier, sipping on a little bit of rare breed, and by golly, it's pretty fantastic. So, Bourbon Heritage Month, September, big time of year for us as bourbon drinkers. I decided this year to not do, or to not add the stress of posting every day for 30 days of bourbon, which is I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to flip the bird to Jeff Schwartz of Whiskey Fellow, who started it a few years ago. But Anonymous Tipper with the $10 donation. Thank you, Anonymous Tipper. I know who you are, but I won't divulge that information here on here on the stream unless you say so in the chat, which is totally fine. But why do we come here again? Oh yeah, for the bourbon. Yes. Oh, 50-50 blend of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Store Pick and Knob Creek 120 Store Pick. It's insanely good. Nick, that is my kind of blend right there. I've been doing recently Benchmark Full Proof, and this is a Kentucky only bottle, or at least Liquor Barn only. But Flatboat Barrel Proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey 125 proof, or at least full proof. I don't know exactly. I think they call it. They just call it 125 proof. The 50-50 between the two, really, really great blend. So, highly recommend that. Well, they're in the chat. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be like somebody who's, who's just out of nowhere sending $10 over Stream Elements. But regardless, thank you, Anonymous. But yeah, it was just like last year, that little bit of extra anxiety almost, or like having to do things, could be a lurker, you're right. but just having to add something else on top of everything that I was already doing. And, at that point I had an almost 1-year-old, and that was even a lot. And I definitely didn't hit every single day of the 30 days. This year I've got an almost 2-year-old who is wonderful and amazing, and my favorite part of every day right now. But just the amount of energy that she requires, I don't have for like one more thing right now necessarily. So I decided not to do the whole social media aspect of 30 days of bourbon. Does that mean I won't be drinking bourbon on every day of Bourbon Heritage Month? Absolutely not. Of course. You got to look. It's a marathon, not a 100-yard dash. So you got to be smart about it. Got to be quick. Got to be quick-witted. Let's talk about too, because there's specific events that have kind of happened over the past year that I think have kind of started to shift bourbon into a new territory. And things that have happened that have made us go, hey, Dustin with the $10 Snuffy Chat. Thank you, Dustin. Love you too, buddy. I miss you. And I hope to see you soon. Sincerely. I've been thinking about you and Misty a lot the past few days. So, yeah, not to get too sentimental, but, but I think that this past year was kind of like the year that everybody who was even remotely kind of a bourbon drinker became aware of bourbon as just a whole. And it started to feel like things were moving into a weird direction. And I think that the first instance that really kind of fell into that category, for me, at the very least, and I do think that there are plenty of people who would agree, but George T. Stagg not being included in last year's antique collection. And that was that first kind of moment where it was like a seismic shift away from how things normally were for bourbon. And we could always kind of count on that release being, not that, it was so earth-shattering that nobody was able to continue being a bourbon drinker, but it was a significant change. I mean, it was a big release that, dadgummit, that people always looked forward to if they could find it. And they, without it last year, people got kind of bent out of shape, and it was just unfortunate. So that was the first big moment that came about last year. Mash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell. Don't forget to choose all. So, yes, notifications. Sending Perry that virtual hug from the side. I am not a virtual, or excuse me, I can be a virtual hugger, but I'm not a side hugger. You got to give me the full hug, man. It's just how it goes. So there was the Stag revelations, and I'll even step back and say, from a personal standpoint, I had to leave a job that I really, really loved in 2020. Wasn't able. It was one of those things where I was like, why didn't you just keep us on anyway? I can be the little spoon. That's fair. And so it kind of sent me on this like tumultuous path since then, where I've not really known what's going on professionally, and just being very, very aware of the way that I was kind of treating myself mentally, and the way that I was kind of, and physically for that matter too. And I'm still kind of like dealing with some of those things and trying to peel some of those layers back that got added on during all this time. And, you know, the dad stress and all those things. It was just a very strange period for me. And kind of settled into something new-ish with the tour company, and things have been weird with that too, because we've been very, very, very slow. So it's been another kind of tumultuous period. And so I'm like, what's coming up next? I don't know. And so we're figuring that out along the way. But in the meantime, I mean, we've had, I think, maybe the best year of growth and the best year of listener retention with the podcast that we ever have. And I think, you know, part of that was because I was able to dedicate a little bit extra time and thought and energy and just being present for the podcast. And I hope that you guys, as listeners, as consumers of the podcast, have felt that as well. We started doing video versions for the YouTube channel, trying to just crank out more YouTube content in general. But just being very pleased and thankful and kind of humbled by the response that we've seen from TIMBP listeners over the past year. I'm not saying that, you know, Bourbon Heritage Month was the catalyst for any of that, but I think that was the point where I started seeing a little bit of change, and then things just kind of started to snowball from there. And so I don't know. I'm very, very thankful for that. I think I'm getting to a bit of a rambly headspace. Yeah. I'm just thankful for you guys. Because I've always, there's parts of my life that, of course, are always kind of changing. There's parts of it that I can always rely on. But the thing that over the past 5 years, I have been able to rely the most on is that of the podcast and this support group and you guys listening and showing up, whether it's for live shows or meetups or just streams, doing charity work for Kentuckians is just bonkers to me that you guys showed up for that too. Not that I didn't expect something like that, but just thank you. Thank you. I've truly felt, I think, and it's in varying degrees of success, I suppose, but in this case, past year has kind of been that moment of like, I think we made it. I think we're doing okay. I think we're going to be all right. So that's what I have to say for that matter. Yeah. Chill stream. We're hanging out tonight. Let me get caught up on chat. Tony says, I've loved the last year of podcast content. I'm assuming that Outcast meant content and lives in the meetup. You're killing it, Perry. Thank you, Tony. Dev Patel's here. Dads are like onions. We do have lots of. Do you mean they make you cry or because of the layers? Don't know where that Outcast came from. The bourbon circles we run in are tight. We have fun, enjoy each other, and overall appreciate. See, I'm getting a call right now, and I don't know who it is. The bourbon circles we run in are tight. We have fun, enjoy each other, and overall appreciate one another. We are lucky to have that. Amen. Amen, Bill. I've told you via DM that I'm thankful for all that you do for those of us in the community. No doubt others feel the same way. Thank you for you, Perry. Thank you, Dreamhound. That that makes me very happy. Really does. Glad to be here. Tony B, thank you so much for being here, man. A new addition to the community. It's definitely different when I look back to the start of the podcast with Tanner. Definitely a bigger and more fun group and community now, and I love the direction of the podcast now. Steven Sussman, thank you so much for being here, buddy. Long-term supporter. One of the earliest supporters of TIMBP as well. Tony says, hey, Perry, take a drink so we can cheer you. I'll do it. I'll finish some rare breed. Cheers, guys. Thank you for the past year. It's been incredible. You know, at the end of this month, too, we're going to be recording episode 250, which I cannot believe. Remember when Perry cried on the podcast? Which time? I've cried a couple times on the podcast. I've cried a couple times on live streams. But it's just, you guys just, you make me emotional. Your support just means the absolute world. And it's just one of those things where I can't help but get a little bit emotional over this stuff. So just how it goes, man. Just how the cookie crumbles. So I have not opened this yet. Remember? Thank you all for the community. Hello, Emily Chambers. Good to see you. Thank you for being a part of it. That's because you're the best, Patrick. I appreciate you, man. Why is everybody just tweeting? All of these major bourbon accounts are just tweeting one word, all lowercase. I'm assuming that it's a trend. Or maybe I'm just only seeing the notification. I'm not seeing the full tweets. But they're all just tweeting bourbon. Beam did it. Makers did it. I think Wild Turkey did it earlier. Kentucky Distillers Association. Did I miss something? I'm confused. Mashed up all the buttons as I did. How did I get C922 so early? Press kit? Yes. Yeah, we got it today. Same day that Fred Minnick did. So if that tells you anything. I mean, I don't know what that tells you, but we're going to get into the C922 here in just a moment. Are they spelling Blanton's? No. I guess it's for Bourbon Heritage Month, but I don't know the specificity of it. Focus, Perry. I'm working on it. Cheersing with some Kentucky Owl Batch 3 for absolutely no reason, because I have to kill the bottle. Amen to that. First day of Heritage Month. I mean, I know, but it's like, where was the memo? You know what I mean? Like, where did they say, hey, everybody just tweet bourbon? I don't know. What's good, Perry? What's going on, man? DC's here. Hope you are well. I know it's Bourbon Heritage. The friggin' video is called Kicking Off Bourbon Heritage Month. I know. But it's just a weird thing that they all individually were like I don't know the impetus of it, I suppose. So, anyway. Yes, this is a bottle that was sent to us from Heaven Hill for review. Of course, this is about $65, $70 a bottle, Elijah Craig barrel proof. As always, 12 years old, non-chill filtered. This is the highest proof for 2022. 124.8 proof. Oh, America. It's all for you, Matt Porter. I'm just now remembering. Matt Porter texted me, too, and I haven't texted him back. Just conform and tweet it. I'll do it right now. Done. Oh, so it is some kind of trend. Because Kyle McLaughlin just tweeted coffee. Truff Sauce just tweeted sauce. And dumplings. Amtrak it just tweeted trains. Man, anyway, sorry. Maybe they were trying to get it to trend on the tweets. Ask Elon. Elon, let us know. Ben says, "Oh, I see. Heaven Hill finds out I'm hunting ECBP for you, so now they gave up and just send you it." I mean, we get a bottle of every new release, but that doesn't mean that I don't want more. Because I do. It's Elijah Craig barrel proof, man. Also, what's up, Ben? Johnny 5, hi Perry, good to see you. By the way, did you know that Bourbon Heritage Month started today? That is news to me. I'm in the algorithm now. This is my Twitter reading live stream. Yeah, it is weird. I don't get the Twitter just tweeted Facebook. That's hilarious. Yeah. Elon just says Tesla. This is a weird trend. Facebook tweeted MySpace. That's hysterical. Dadgummit, Heaven's Door 10 years says non-charcoal mellowed. This bourbon is unlike anything you've ever had from Tennessee before. Tastes like Dickel. Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. We should have a video coming out tomorrow. Video and bonus audio episode on the new Barrel Vantage. If Starlink and sausage. If I can get that accomplished tonight after the stream. Not sure how that's going to go. But in the meantime, that's on the horizon, regardless whether or not it's coming out tomorrow. Also, thank you everybody who's here right now. 32 people. We don't normally have that many. I know that's kind of a small number for live streams, but as far as TIMBP goes, not bad. Thank you all so much for being here. Like the video if you've not done so already. All right, so 124.8 proof, Elijah Craig barrel proof, 12 years old, non-chill filtered. Thank you, Heaven Hill, for sending this to me. I think I might be the first person to actually review this in total across the board. So if you're here for the early review, thank you. Appreciate it. But also, just happy you guys are here. Funko Pop. Apparently, it started with CNN just tweeting out breaking news, so then other accounts just started doing one-word tweets. Rutabaga. Scott from Fifth Quarter Tailgate. Go subscribe to Scott if you've not done so yet. Cheers, Perry. Cheers to you too, Scott. All right. I need to take a big old sipping of water here. So I think I might have to reorient my camera and my setup a little bit because you can't even see my lamp. And I love lamp. It's a cool lamp. I genuinely cannot remember who it was that made it for me. They were a really, really early sponsor of the podcast. And the first Bourbon and Beyond that I went to with the podcast, I had to meet them to pick up the lamp in like a Kroger parking lot. It's beautiful. It's a barrel head with Blanton's toppers on it. Dev said just sat down, was busy roasting coffee. Scott says I have no audio, so I don't know when I'll be live again. I'm a good man with a good heart. Had a tough time, got a rough start. I finally learned to let it go. Your name. Bourbon Heritage Month. Did you all know it's Bourbon Heritage Month? Was it Jeff? It was not Jeff. I don't think these guys are in business anymore. I don't think they've been in business for a couple of years. But they truly only sponsored us so that they could get their name out about their lamps. Like it wasn't to, like, they didn't give us money or anything. I don't know. I could find out probably if I like picked the lamp up and looked on the other side, but that's too much work. I got Funko Pops back there. You see those Funko Pops? You think they're just gonna move by themselves? Got bottles back there too, man. You know how much work that is? An empty beer can? Shameful. Papa Ritter's here, by the way. Everybody say what up, Papa Ritter. Big Mayor fan. This is my Bourbon Podcast. Did you watch his fundraiser concert from Montana? I have. Oh boy, Twitter's now sending us snuffy chats as well. Thank you, Twitter. At TIMBP, at Lamp, at Blanton's, at Bourbon. Thank you, Twitter. I did not watch the whole thing. I've listened to all of it. Between that and the show we did with Bob Weir, incredible stuff, man. Such a good show. Got me a little teary. New drinking game. Every time someone types Bourbon Heritage Month, we drink. Woo! Independent Joe. What's going on, Joe? Long time no see. Good to have you in the chat. Steven Sussman, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't remember their name, though. Bourbon Heritage Month. Note to self, make sure your new microphone works before you sledgehammer the old one. Joe's at Bourbon Heritage Month. I'm not even, look, I don't want to go in. Should I just go in for this first sip of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof without even having tried, like, nosed or anything? Like, should I just take a big sip and I'm just going to do it. TIMBP merchandise is available at bourbonshop.threadless.com. Go check it out. Cheers, everybody. Happy Bourbon Heritage Month. This is how we're kicking things off. I don't know what's happening with this bourbon. No idea what the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C922 is going to taste like, but we're doing it. Huh? What? What on earth? Scott, you're living the dream, my friend. First of all, the finish is insane. I did not pour the Larceny. I poured B522, which I should probably I'm just going to go ahead and kill it. Who cares? There we go. The finish is incredible. I mean, even since I took that sip, which has now been about a solid minute ago, it's still going. I mean, the finish itself, it's a 5 out of 5. That's fantastic. The palate's weird, though. The palate's got stuff going on that I'm not confused by, but I wasn't prepared for what I would say is the complexity of this bourbon. Guys, I'm telling you, I think this might be a return to form for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. C batches always hit. I resemble that remark. Mm. 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 Now, I will say, and it's probably to its benefit, but it is missing a little bit of an ethanol burn. And I think that's probably because it's 120. Sorry, Stan. I'll get you later, buddy. So it's 124 proof. Not super, super high proof, but still high proof. It just doesn't have as much of like that old like scorching your mouth feeling that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof used to have. But it does this weird like dip in the middle. Because it starts out really, really kind of bright with these fruity notes, like red berry fruit notes. And it dips in the middle to brown sugar. Brown sugar and vanilla. And then it kicks back up to cinnamon. It's a lot of cinnamon on the palate. The berries start coming back through, graham cracker. Wild. The oak is very present as well. I mean, it is very tannin heavy. RIP Stan round 2. It's a hard pass. Yeah, don't go buy this one. Don't Sorry, Scott, I just saw your message. That's crazy. Wait, this is a return to form, but you're confused by it, and your first words were what? Here's the reason. Story time. Shane. Shane, so I don't know if you've been trying to call me today. I don't have, so my phone is messed up. Something happened with Verizon last week on our account. Were you in town? But I can't see who is calling me. It just says no caller ID. So every time that I get a call, even if it's in my contacts, I can't see who's calling. It's really frustrating and annoying. But anyway. Tony Bag of Donuts, to your point, or to your question. Yes, the reason that I kind of said what with this was because I wasn't expecting it to be the return to form that it is. I was expecting it to be this kind of same lower tier Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that we've been getting this year, that we kind of got last year as well. But this is definitely showing up for what I want Elijah Craig Barrel Proof to be. It's okay. I've never seen a sea batch in New York. I think me and Christian have said this. It's possible. Donnie, I've turned my phone off and on about 1,800 times since last week. There is something in the account settings. Sarah got a new phone last week, and there's something in the account settings that got tripped, I think, by one of the Verizon staff members. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, Shane. Daggum, dude. Yeah, I'll definitely be shooting you. I just saw that, Shane. I'll text you back here in a bit. Yeah. Verizon is dumb. I'm about to ditch them for T-Mobile whenever the new iPhone comes out. I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm just getting frustrated with Verizon overall. Customer service has sucked recently. Their coverage has been terrible. Just the 5G with T-Mobile, and it's so much cheaper. Nick Foles, I still want a damn 134 proof heater, though. They haven't given me that in a while. Amen. Amen to that. Is my phone plugged in? Not currently. It is very frustrating. Yes. I think Perry's cat is sick behind him. You talking about Snuffy? Snuffy's good, man. Is one of the other cats acting up or something? I hope everything's okay. Can I force an operating system update? Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check into it. I got a sample of the old Dragon Bones coming. 16-year double oaked hazmat rye. Oh. Shane, I'm very excited. I can't wait for that. Snuffy. Yeah, I mean, he's okay. I kind of see what you're talking about, though. It looks like if he were a cat, he was having just major diarrhea. You know, going back to B522, yeah, it's still not as good as a C. Oh. No comparison. It's the C all day. Hershey squirts. Oh, there's some heat. Now I'm getting alcohol spice or ethanol, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there it showed up. There it definitely showed up. C922 is easily the best batch of Elijah Craig barrel proof this year. It definitely is a return to form. It's definitely showing itself as being something that we have all kind of craved from Elijah Craig barrel proof over the past couple of years. Even though it's not as high a proof, I don't think it matters. I think that everything is just, between the age and these, I'm assuming that they probably have some barrels in this mix that were at a higher tier in the Rick House, just based on some of the ethanol that's on it. But truly a spectacular pour. I'm standing by the finish being a 5. It just goes for days. It is something that I feel like I could have one pour of for almost an entire night. It's that complex. And it's got that much going for it. C918, absolutely C918 was everyone's favorite that year. Got some C918 right here. Actually, for comparison's sake, Prescription Bourbon, what's up? Just for the sake of comparison, we'll pour a little bit of C918. See how the C922 stacks up against it. They're very much, they're brothers. They're very much cut from the same cloth, the same DNA. But I do think that the C918 has a little bit of a leg up as far as the nose goes. Let me get caught up on chat real quick. I said what's up to prescription. What up again? Why not? Might as well compare now. Absolutely. My collection started at B519. I loosely say I have a Elijah Craig barrel proof collection now because I like it so much that I have a hard time keeping it around. C919 and A120 were right up my alley. A120 is still the bomb. Still one of my favorite Elijah Craig barrel proof pours, for sure. All right. Palette wise, let's compare 18 to 22. C918 is so special. It's weird because it is kind of missing some of the finish that the C922 has, but the palette rocks the world of the 22. Is that how I meant to say that? I don't know. Nose and palette, I give to C918. Finish all the way, C922. However, if we are talking about bottles trending back into the right direction, or batches trending back into the right direction, C922 is the Elijah Craig barrel proof that we have been waiting for over the past few years. 100%. 918 has been sitting for a while, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like they're pretty apples to apples at this point. Eric the Barbarian. Hello, Eric. Hope you're well, man. Good to see you in the chat. I was lucky to get 2 of all the 2020s, so those are still full. But everybody else is disappearing quickly. Yeah. Nick Foles, the older batches to me had more depth and richness. I wish I didn't drink them all already. I feel the same way. It was just kind of one of those things where you're like, it's always going to be around, or it's going to be available for, a good while. But yeah, no, I agree. But I genuinely think that the C922 is like Elijah Craig barrel proof, just risen from the grave. Papa Ritter said it out. Bouncing love and cheers to everyone. Have a great Labor Day weekend. See you all next week. We will be here. Papa Ritter, love you. Hope you guys have good night. I'm going to see Dad tomorrow. I'm going to go drop Eden off. 41 people in the chat. Holy moly. Hooly dooly. Sincerely, thank you guys so much for being here. Don't normally have this many in a particular chat, in a particular night, but it is very nice to have you along for the ride. Having compared the C922 to the C918, I think it gives me a better grip on where I'm going to rank or place this because, and I don't remember if I actually reviewed the C918 at the time that it came out, and I probably didn't because it was just about a year after the podcast started. So I've kind of retroactively fallen in love with the C918. So let's officially review Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C922. Nose has everything that I love about that classic. That classic Elijah Craig barrel proof. It is missing a little bit of something. I think it's got this just slightly less richness than at least the C918 does. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 on the nose. The palate is so interesting. It just goes in so many different directions. And I love that about it. Because finally there's another Elijah Craig barrel proof where it takes me time to drink through it and go, what's happening here? 4 on the palate. I know I said this earlier. I'm sticking with it. The finish is a 5. It is the longest finish I've had in a bourbon in a really, really long time. It's super complex. Starts to introduce kind of like this banana bread note too, which is interesting. It does kind of remind me of like a Brown Foreman thing. But it's there, and it starts to expand even more. It gets a little bit floral, introduces a little bit of a savory note too in there. But overall, an incredible pour. If you find it at MSRP, $65, I can't help but recommend it enough. 4.5. I don't even remember what I normally give Elijah Craig barrel proof on the price. But just a stellar offering from Heaven Hill on this round. So let's see. $17 out of 20. Yeah. So multiply by 5 if you want to, or by 5 if you want to know what it is out of 100. But overall, this is the batch of Elijah Craig barrel proof to get. More like 90 if I can even find it. 85. It's a shame that it's gone up that much, but I think that if we're even like considering, the $10 per year pricing scheme, this is still definitely it's 85 out of 100. Oh, sorry. What? No, I'm confused. But yeah, this is always a pickup for me if I can find it. Just hands down. Absolutely amazing pour. If you see it, grab a bottle. If you see multiples, grab me one too. We'll talk about it. I think that's about it for tonight. I just want to say again, I talked about it earlier in the stream, but thank you all so much. Thank you for the support and the love and just the acceptance that you have given not only me, because I am part of this, and it doesn't happen without other people too. So us. Thank you for all the love that you have given us over the past year. And it's just been wonderful. And five whole years this October that we've been doing this, that I've been doing this, and trudging away and making sure that there is good bourbon content on the market. And I am happy to be in that pool. Just happy to be a part of it. And I love y'all. And I just want to say thank you. This is going to be a wonderful Bourbon Heritage Month. I can't wait for it. I really can't. Thank you guys. Sincerely. If you've not followed the show yet, go do so at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. All that good stuff. Go support the show for as little as $1 a month, but $5 a month gets you bonus content on Patreon. Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast. And that's about it. That's about it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. I will see you next week. But until then, I'm Perry. And this is TIMBP Live.